The Grenlec Debates. Power, bright ideas.
As French writer Joseph Joubert said, "It is better to debate a question without settling it than to settle a question without debating it." You are tuned in to the 2024 edition of the Grenlec Debates. Welcome. I am Kunta Kinte Ando, former Grenlec debater and your host for this, the third round of competition, the quarter-finals. I invite you to sit back, relax, and observe as our debaters skillfully explore ideas while thinking on their feet. Please bear in mind that although the students are given the topics and themes to research prior to the match, these debates are done impromptu. The students develop their arguments right here today. They've selected their motions, and they have been given 30 minutes to prepare their presentations without assistance from their teachers, and they are ready to debate. The theme for this round: energy resilience and poverty alleviation in the Caribbean. The areas of focus are grid stability, technological advancements, resilience, and microgrids. This match is between the Anglican High School and Presentation Brothers College. The motion is, be it resolved that Caribbean governments should invest more in energy storage technologies to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. For the proposition, Presentation Brothers College. For the opposition, the Anglican High School.
Honorable judges, esteemed chair, distinguished opponents, good morning to you all. Today, we are deciding the course of action that will shape our collective future. This is a debate about consequences that affect us all. We stand in full support of this motion with the utmost conviction because it is supported by the facts, driven by the reason, and aligned with the greater good. Another mood, be it resolved that Caribbean governments should invest more into energy storage technologies to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. Standing against this mood is simply ridiculous. As the first speaker, it is my responsibility to introduce the rest of my team and provide the definitions to be used throughout the course of this debate. My second speaker will continue, further expanding more specifically on the technologies to be used, while my POI speakers will cascade and work on showing you the holes in our opponent's arguments. My rebuttal speaker will complete it all, showing the exact ways in which we stand even stronger. As defined by the Oxford Dictionary, invest is to use money to make a profit. Technologies is the study of machinery, engineering, and how things work. From the Webster's Dictionary, intermittency is defined as ceasing at intervals. And according to the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, renewable energy is energy that is generated from natural sources that never run out. The first point I bring to your attention today is that of fluctuation. Without adequate storage, the energy produced is simply too inconsistent to be used, as the changes of weather are unpredictable, as we all have seen from first-hand experience. Intermittent production is a key problem for renewable energy, and the storage investments is the very solution to this problem. During an interview with Mr. Leslie Smith, the director of renewable energy in Grenada, he himself stated that the investment in storage for renewable energy is pivotal for the growth and development of this country. Think about it. Fluctuation is the very differences between whether something is happening and when it is not. If we are unable to control this and storage is not available, this means that at times there will be energy and at times there will not. And that is simply a risk that we cannot take. Overgeneration is my second point to you today, and one of utmost importance. During periods of high generation, there will be more energy produced than the grid can handle. And to prevent the overloading of the system, operators curtail the generation, which waste potential clean energy, undermining the efficiency of the renewable energy transition. Considering this, storage of the formerly wasted energy is simply too important to be left out and forgotten in the change of investing in different avenues. I thank you.
Honorable Chair, esteemed judges, dear audience, worthy opponents, pleasant morning to all. We, the opposition, would like to challenge the moot, be it resolved that Caribbean governments should invest more in energy storage technologies to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. While we acknowledge the aid of energy storage technologies in the intermittency of renewable energy sources, is it really worth it to put all your eggs in one basket? Esteemed judges, Caribbean governments should invest more in implementing a hybrid energy system to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. As first speaker, I will redefine key terms of the moot and outline the environmental and technological aspects of our arguments, of which my second speaker will expound on the economic, social, and political aspects. POI will follow, where we'll identify all ridiculous claims made by the proposition through the posing and answering of questions. My rebuttal speaker will follow, where she will refute any ignominious arguments made by the proposition. We, the opposition, accept the definitions proposed for invest and intermittency. However, we would like to put forth our own for, more, and address. The following definitions are according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. More is a greater quantity, number, or amount. Address is the readiness and capability for dealing skillfully and smoothly. Esteemed judges, I begin with the advice of Minister for Climate Resilience and Renewable Energy, Karen James, and Mr. Bideau, founder and CEO of Classic Lighting. They have both stated that environmentally, a hybrid approach for energy systems would be best suited for the Caribbean. If you believe that solely renewable energy technology would solve all our problems, but I'm sorry, you're terribly mistaken. Fossil fuel is still involved in the manufacturing and even transportation processes of renewable energy. However, this isn't the issue. Pray tell we invest all into renewable energy and the energy storage technology. What happens with the electric vehicles? Judges, do you know that most EVs in Grenada are hybrid? Why is this? Renewable energy can only take us so far. After the EV reaches a certain level, it must transition to fossil fuels to keep going. How is the energy storage technology going to mitigate such a challenge? Worthy opponents, how so? If we invest more and implement hybrid technology, EVs would be sustainable no matter the terrain or condition. And this is only one example, Honorable Chair. Secondary to this, through a technological lens, we must first invest in technologically advancing ourselves before investing in energy storage technology. Like, I'm sure you'll hear again, only 7% of Grenada's energy generation is from renewable energy, and the technology used for such is traditional. If we're to technologically advance ourselves with better renewable energy technology would increase. I thank you.
It's simply outrageous to even think our opponents disagrees with the moot. Judges, worthy opponents, Honorable Chair, colleagues, most accurate timekeeper, and others in the audience, a pleasant morning. My team and I stand in full support of the moot. Be it resolved that Caribbean governments should invest more in energy storage technologies to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. For the very reasons being, investment of renewable energy technology is imperative, a must, so to speak. This can assist Caribbean countries in being productive during power outages. We all know that the Caribbean is prone to many natural disasters, including earthquakes and hurricanes, which can lead to power outages and damages of renewable energy technologies. To you, I ask, my worthy opponents, how else can we find a possible solution in addressing intermittency other than investing in energy storage batteries? According to Mr. Raheem Elliott, electrical engineer at Public Utilities Regulation Commission, PERC, we simply cannot. The National Energy Policy of Grenada states that we should go fully renewable by the year 2030. In terms of hurricanes, how are we to be productive? How would the schools function, schools and workplace function? They also advanced battery storage system, which can help deal with the issue of solar emittency. Utility scale batteries can change during peak solar production and release energy as needed to meet electrical demands. And this is from pvcase.com. Judges, I urge you not to become brainwashed by the false statements made by opponents today. There are also smart technologies which are there to help us in cases like this. They mitigate intermittency and overload risk. Smart battery tech help manage the variability of renewable sources, preventing energy imbalances and mitigating the risk of overloads. Example, by shifting production from primarily solar to other sources during off-peak seasons, SBTs ensure contributors reliable power supply without overloading the system. To conclude, my team and I stand in full agreement of the mood provided today and 100% believe that Caribbean governments should invest more in energy storage technologies to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. I rest my case.
Good morning, all. My colleagues and I stand in our firm opposition of the proposed moot. Be it resolved that Caribbean governments should invest more in energy storage technologies to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. To begin, let's look at this from an economic point of view. Small island developing states cannot afford the high cost of investing more in energy storage technology. As you know, states are developing countries who mostly suffer from debt and face poverty and unemployment issues. Worthy opponents, we must not forget that the average citizen in Grenada makes a wage of $1,200. How will they afford storage if they cannot even afford to pay rent? Along with these challenges, how can the government invest more in storage that evidently has high cost? If the proposition so boldly states that the government already provides renewable energy technology to citizens who struggle financially, they must be aware that the provided technology does not include storage. Why? Because it simply costs too much. With a hybrid system, the cost can be more attainable to these Caribbean governments. Socially, the people of these Caribbean countries would much rather have a choice to move to renewable energy. And this can only be done using a hybrid energy system. This would familiarize the public with the new technology. We can then push the energy system technologies, storage technologies, when the transition to renewable energy moves have been made. We must first lay the foundation before serious change can be made. This leads me to my political point. We cannot jump into the big investment without thinking about the possible serious risks. Honorable judges, did you know that only 7% of Grenada's energy generation comes from renewable energy? 7%. Why are we jumping the gun to invest in energy storage when not even half of our energy generation is from renewable energy? We need to transition before we invest. I thank you.
My worthy opponent, have we completely transitioned to renewable energy?
Oh, no, we have not.
Then why should we put all our eggs in one basket for a technology that is mere support for renewable energy?
We keep mentioning all when the mood clearly states that more, given meaning that we should start investing more in this energy storage in order to complete and further enhance our transition.
However, we're jumping the gun and it is just supporting technology, whereas we can ease the transition into renewable technology by implementing a hybrid approach. However, we'd like to move on to the next question.
You are aware that to implement energy storage, we need to have sustainable energy generation of renewable energy, correct?
Yes, we are, my worthy opponents.
Can 3.5 megawatts of energy supply Grenada during a blackout?
No, it cannot, which is why we should
my worthy
still
opponent, thank you. So why should we invest into storage technology rather than developing and improving renewable energy technology?
Because the development and improvement of that is through the storage technologies, given that with them we will have power saved for when there is a potential blackout or the fossil fuel generation in Grenlec fails.
However, my worthy opponent, the backup of the hybrid approach to backup of fossil fuels is an alternative to expensive energy storage technologies. Next question. My worthy opponent, how would energy storage technologies aid in the intermittent power source of electric vehicles without a hybrid system?
My worthy opponents, power vehicles, hybrid power vehicles are not intermittent as you claim them to be.
My worthy opponent, however, the electrical vehicles, they cannot sustain, they're not sustainable for the Caribbean terrain and whatnot. It cannot, when it reaches to a certain level, it cannot go anymore. It needs fossil fuel, my worthy opponent. We'd like to move on, however.
Are you knowledgeable on the term hybrid?
Yes, we are.
So you are aware that using the hybrid method, we can cancel out the intermittency issue that renewable energy brings forth?
But isn't this hybrid method also part of, well, the storage is also part of the hybrid method?
Yes, my worthy opponents, we are not against energy storage. We are simply saying that we should implement a hybrid approach first to ease the transition where energy storage would then come in. I thank you.
My worthy opponent, how do you suggest the Caribbean access cutting-edge technology like smart grids and advanced energy storage systems without investing in them?
My worthy opponents, you can invest in them. However, investing more in them is like putting all your eggs in one basket, whereas we should invest in both energy storage technologies and hybrid energy systems.
You're not answering my question. How do you suggest the Caribbean access cutting-edge technology like smart grids and advanced energy storage without investing in them?
However, the mood does not state that we should not invest in them, and we are not arguing that we should not invest in them. Sorry, I apologize. I'm simply trying to find out the relevance of your question.
Moving on. Are fossil fuels finite?
Yes, they are.
So you suggest that we invest in a dying source compared to that of storing an infinite source, as you stated with hybrids?
My worthy opponents, we do not suggest that we invest in fossil fuels and not in renewable energy technology, but we are instead stating that we should invest in a hybrid way where you implement renewable energy technology and fossil fuels to have a more gradual approach.
Invested in fossil fuels, right?
Both.
Invested in fossil fuels, right?
No.
Well, yes, my worthy opponent, but not as a primary source, so that would ease the strain, my worthy opponent, if that's what you're asking.
So if the fossil fuels are not the primary source, as you've just stated, why not invest in renewable energy sources, as they would be the only counter to what you just said?
Because, my worthy opponents, we have not fully transitioned to renewable energy. Therefore, we should lay a foundation to ease the transition into renewable energy.
And the foundation that will be laid is the energy storage that
No,
you
my
claim
worthy
would
opponent.
only be used for hybrids.
Energy storage
Now,
is
the
simply a
opponents, time is
support.
of the essence, and we would like to proceed with our questions.
No problem, my worthy
Both your
opponent.
first and second speakers spoke on to a hybrid system. But wouldn't this system also, both renewable and non-renewable energy, need storage?
Can you repeat the question?
You spoke to a hybrid system and that we should invest in that before, but wouldn't this hybrid system also need storage for renewable as well as non-renewable energy systems?
We are simply stating that the hybrid way would be a less funds into energy storage, which is better for the Caribbean government.
Do you realize that there are global initiatives that are in place to fund these initiatives?
My worthy opponent, the global initiatives are for renewable energy projects, not renewable energy storage projects.
These are all renewable energy technological advancements.
The proposition has tried to sway your minds away from the facts, but they failed. Therefore, their claims must be debunked. While the proposition may focus on energy storage, they fail to realize that these problems are avoidable if we use a hybrid approach to address the intermittency challenges. Focusing solely on investing in renewable energy storage is detrimental. Only 7% of Grenada's energy is generated by renewable energy. I'm no professional, but thinking that 3.5 megawatts can sustain an entire country is utterly ridiculous. With the implementation of renewable energy along with fossil fuels, it's more effective. The proposition also fails to recognize that the economic disadvantages of storage costs for energy. These costs of batteries are far out of our budgets and going to foreign countries for financial aid can cause debt. As a small island developing country, we are millions in debt. That is why we oppose the moot and we introduce a hybrid approach, easing the transition of renewable energy instead of jumping the gun on solely renewable energy. My opponents, you are interpreting our stance of the moot and saying that we are suggesting completely cancelling of the complete cancellation of energy storage. I am here to clarify that we are simply stating that instead of investing all our funds into energy storage, we should first invest in renewable energy, also known as the hybrid approach. I rest my case. We stand against the moot. Be it resolved that Caribbean governments should invest more in energy storage technologies to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources. I thank you.
Global challenges require global solutions. For the Caribbean, energy resilience is not a solitary journey. It depends on the strength of regional collaboration and collective responsibility. Christina Figueres, former Executive Secretary of the United Nations. The first speaker of the opposition had stated that Caribbean governments should not invest more in energy storage technologies to address the intimacy of renewable energy sources. Judges, audience, worthy opponents, there is no other way. As stated by my second speaker, as quoted from Mr. Raheem Elliott, electrical engineer at the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, and a leading developer in the creation of energy storage technologies, as the Caribbean is moving towards renewable energy by 2030. If the Caribbean and its governments do not invest more in renewable energy storage, we cannot survive. We, the proposition, are not saying that the Caribbean's government should not invest in other energy technologies, because in order to address the intermittency of renewable energy sources, the Caribbean needs all the help it can get. However, to say that we should not invest more in energy storage technologies is counterintuitive. The second speaker of the opposition had spoke about citizens being unable to afford energy storage. Audience, you may be wondering, what does this have to do with the moot? I'll tell you, it doesn't. People are not governments. In the POI speaker of the opposition had stated that the global foundations that fund these initiatives only fund renewable energy initiatives and not storage. However, this could not be further than the truth, because energy storage is a renewable energy technology. This was stated by not only my first speaker, but the proposition's second speaker as well. Thank you very much.
And the winner is Presentation Brothers College. Well done, team. We take this opportunity to say thank you to every team and all participants. To our audience, we are thrilled that you were able to join us for this match, and we invite you to tune in again for complete coverage of the next match in the quarterfinals series.
The Grenlec Debates. Powered Bright Ideas.
The Grenlec Debates will be broadcast on MTV Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. and on Saturday at 6 p.m. and on GBN TV Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. and on Sunday at 4 p.m.
Tune in